Hi everyone, I'm Brianna and welcome to Roll Initiative. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to roleplay a quiet character. So, let's get started. Now, before we actually get started, I just want to give a bit of a disclaimer here, and that is if you're a quiet player or you're having trouble role playing and you're wanting to play a quiet character until you feel more comfortable to try role playing a bit more, my best advice is don't. You're better off playing an outgoing character because it will give you a reason to roleplay. If you play a quiet character, then you're not really going to have an excuse to roleplay. You are going to second guess yourself. Every time you try and speak up, it's going to not only feel awkward and difficult, but out of character. You're much better off trying to play an outgoing character and pushing yourself to get better. But that is the disclaimer, and if you're here for other reasons, then let's get into the tips. Playing a quiet character can be difficult because if you're just staying quiet, not only can it not be fun for you, but others might think that you're not paying attention or you're not enjoying the game. But there's a really easy mindset that you can get past to be able to fix that. For your character to be quiet, that doesn't mean that you need to be quiet. You can describe your character's body language, what they are doing, and their facial expressions. You don't need to describe what they're saying if you can describe what they are doing. That can get across their point of view and your character's opinion. Your character doesn't actually have to say much for you to still be a really active role player. I think it is really important, especially when playing a quiet character, to come up with one or two topics that your character is really passionate about. That will give you a couple things that could come up that could bring your character out of their shell and give you some time to actually roleplay what your character is saying. Not only can it be a really fun experience, but it can be really cool character development and it can be a pretty good surprise for the other people at your table. Building in game connections can be difficult, especially with a quiet character, but it can also be really important. And I think instead of trying to form a connection with every person at the table, you should try and focus on one or maybe two different people. And that way, your quiet character will still have someone they trust and get along with, even if they don't talk much. And hey, if you wanted to take this one step further and try out something really different, then maybe try playing a mute character. That way, you'll have to come up with a lot of different ways to communicate through body language, sign language, or even spells. Stuff like that can be really interesting to try out, and I have heard some pretty awesome stories from people who have tried it. But that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then I would be so grateful if you'd consider giving it a like, or maybe even subscribing to my channel. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.